but it is going to be very off script because, again, I've never done this, and you've been certified for a year, so some of this may be some things you already know. Some of it may be new things. Feel free to stop and ask questions whenever you want, because this is really going to be a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I have been certified for a year, but I didn't really know how to use it. And I actually somehow totally missed this my first go around. So it's all new info for me. And then I'm in Columbus, Ohio. So we had our very first meetup maybe about a month ago when they were
Mhm.
kind of traveling all through.
Yeah,
So I'm just excited to learn a little bit more how I can like better connect with people and actually utilize this.
absolutely. And that's where I hope to be able to answer all those questions and give you some insight.
Awesome.
So congratulations, you've been certified. You've been certified for a year now. Um, some of the things, overview of WeBank, what the network is and what our core is, the certification opportunities, resource engagement, is what we'll cover. About WeBank, there's over 20,000 certified WBEs. And I honestly don't know if this webinar talks about it, because again, I've never given it. I've been a facilitator, but never. You have access in WeBank Link to all 20,000 of them.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you knew that or not. If you go to on your toolbar thing on the side, there's a search function that says vendor. That vendor gives you access to all 20,000 of those WBs across the entire network. Um,
Okay.
and if you go underneath that, there's one that says members. Members are all 550 corporate members that you get access to as well, to whoever their websites, if they actually have a supplier diversity website outside of their regular one, who their contact is for that. Again, I don't know if this talks about it, but I always like to, especially newer people, like, hey, get in there, understand it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, WeBank, it's made up of 14 regional partner organizations and to make up one WeBank. So we are this burgundy color there at ORV for Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. You are welcome at any RPO. If they have an event in Indianapolis that you want to go to, you're welcome to
Mhm.
go to it because you're WeBank. Same with like since you're in Columbus, Pennsylvania is kind of about the same distance for you there. If there's something in Pittsburgh that you want to go to, like you're free to go as a WeBank member. And sometimes that is people forget that they're like, oh, I
Yeah.
can only go to ORV. No, you get access to everyone because we're just kind of facilitating the process for WeBank.
Mm.
Um, so here's all of them. Their website. This can also be found on WeBank's website. If you go to organizations, it'll bring up the map, and if you click on whatever state, it brings up their RPO. Texas is split into two because it is so massive of a state, but for the most part, like wherever you click on that map, it will bring up their RPO. So some of the brand stuff um, on. I don't, if you're not familiar with it, it's under the tool. On my side, it's under tools. Under branding, or I think it's under branding, or it's labeled branding. It's tools. I can't remember right now. I know tools, and there's like a branding thing. And I can send it to you later because I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, there it is. It says tools and under branding and media on the left menu. I guess I did write that. Um, but it covers the guidelines of like what's acceptable, what's not, of putting it on your product, on your website, on your email, as long as you don't alter it, like you don't squeeze it, make it smaller, or stretch it, make it bigger. It kind of takes that out of ratio. You kind of have, and also don't put it on some kind of like very vulgar product or something another that would be kind of detrimental to the brand. Other than that, you kind of have access to do whatever. You have access to all the sills and logos. So the sill refers to, it's kind of best your business cards, your websites, and other things. It's mostly recognized among procurement, supplier diversity. So that's kind of, I'll call it your corporate one. If you're branding for labels, that's where you want to use the logo because they care that you're woman owned. They don't care who you're woman owned by, like certified by, like the consumer
Mhm.
won't. So like your seal, that's the one you can put on your emails or your capability statement or something that you're going to share. I would recommend using the seal. if you're going to use it on a product, if say you were trying to get something in Kroger, you would put the logo on there. Custard Stand Chili is, I think they put it on theirs. There's places in TJ Maxx with some of the bath towels. They use the logo, but a lot of people use the seal for like their website and things like that. And here's some more examples of how it's used, placements and all that. Like the business card there, you can see, put the seal on there. It kind of solidifies you are WBEC certified. It's very recognizable. We are the leading third-party certifier of women-owned businesses. But I mean, as you can see, kind of how that website is designed, it almost looks like a business card in a way. You can still use it however you want. You kind of have that flexibility. You see the packaging, social media, online storefronts, because I know you're design. So your online storefront may be better to use the logo versus the seal, but you can actually use them both. You can put them all around your website. You can put them on every page at the bottom, whatever you choose. Some of the do's and don'ts. Do's is WBEC. There is no plural S. Don't make it possessive. You're WBEC certified. You're referred to as WBE WBEs. It's your business, not you. But this just kind of goes into WBE seal versus WBE logo. Seal is not the same as the logo, as we've just seen on the previous slide. And like I said, it refers to the business, not you. Your business is a certified WBE. You yourself are not. So that's just, some more do's and don'ts to help you with that brand guideline. But that's also in on WBEC link if you want to look at it later. Also, this presentation will be shared with you later, so you'll get a copy of all this as well. Any questions so far? Okay, I talk really fast, and I understand that. So like I'm already like almost halfway through this.
Okay.
WBEC Link 2.0 that's the dashboard. That's where everything is at. WBEC provides both the WB and WOSB. The WOSB is centered around government work. I don't remember if you have a WOSB or not. No. Okay. If you don't want to do government work, don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. That's where I think like 99.99% of it focuses around. But if you ever want to add it, it's the first question on the application. If down the road you're like, oh, I want to do business with the state of Ohio or the city of Columbus, they may ask, are you a WOSB? You can add it on your recertification. Just adds a couple extra documents or something, but it's centered around government work.
Okay.
But yeah, WBEC Link 2.0 is the dashboard. It's the hub of everything, kind of. The 20,000 businesses, the logos, the corporates, everybody's in WBEC Link 2.0. You can't really mess anything up in it. It's because it's designed like that on purpose so that you don't accidentally like mess up somebody else's profile just trying to figure out who they are. You can only edit yours and it'll ask you, are you sure you want to edit this? So you're going to be good there. You've already done recertification, so you kind of know all this. I think I processed yours this morning. I think is the date. If you haven't got it yet, you should have an email from it.
Okay.
I remember looking at who was registered and I saw your name and I was like, that sounds really familiar. And it's because I processed it on 11/14. And I was like, okay, maybe it was today. So that's why it's familiar. But yeah, you know all this, the planning ahead, getting it in ahead of time so that there is no lapse. The worst case is like, say you ended in November. If you submit in September and we get through it really quick and we're like ahead of things, your expiration date stays November of the following year. So you would just kind of get extra in there on that new one. And it would just kind of be done and over with. There's less stress behind it and all that. So I always recommend getting it in early. Worst case is we process it too quickly, which is a good thing. Site visits are every 3 years. Every 3 years, major change in ownership or a headquarter address change. Those are the 3 things that'll trigger a site visit again. They're virtual. it's for the, I think forever they'll be virtual unless you're in like a certain industries and stuff, which you're in, you don't fall in that industry. But be prepared because I see the first one counts as year 0. So this would be year 1, next year 2. And then, so 2026, you'll need one.
Okay.
And if I get really dark, I'm sorry, the lights are automatic dimmers if I don't move. So apologies. But yeah, like, all this, if you want to add something in, like your Nix codes, or you want to change your business, description or something like later on, shoot me an email or Colleen or any of us, and we can go in and add it on Arium so you don't have to wait for recertification. That's also an option, just in case something comes up like, oh, I added on this line of design that I hadn't done previously. We can help update that for you.
Okay.
So certification regional, it's a standalone 501c3. We all are. We're nonprofits. We have over 1,100 certified WBEs. I think that corporate number's closer. It's over 90 now. So we're growing that to help you all. And then also we're growing you all to help them. So it's everybody's winning on that. The mission is leading through an innovative, collaborative, engaged group of corporates, government, WBEs, and advocates, catalyst for growth and sustainability by adding more corporate partners and WBEs in Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. As I said, we are growing like crazy. It's a great thing. You've seen the network in person. So, and I'll get more into kind of more events in a minute. So certification process tips for annual renewal. Again, you've done this. So this is the great thing is maybe it's something new that you haven't learned of. We ask for 90 days. You can submit it 100, you can start 120 days prior to expiration. Put a calendar reminder on your Outlook or whatever. Hey, I've submit my WBE. You see how easy it is. Of click a button, update some documents, and you're done in probably 30 minutes or so. Not nearly as bad as the new ones that I know takes hours. It also takes us hours to view. So it's not like you're in that alone. Recertification on our end is easier. It's easier on your end. Make sure your contact email is up to date in WeBank Link, because that's where everything comes through if we were to need something later on, or if you wanted to add something to it, we need to get in contact. We always go to WeBank Link to pull that list of names and emails. So that if somebody sends us a bid, say the city of Columbus sends us a bid opportunity, and it matches what you're doing, we pull based on that, on that criteria, and we'll include your email. Hey, city of Columbus has this opportunity that that you meet the criteria for. Here's the information. That's kind of help facilitate that. But also that's where their access is. They can see your contact email. So you want to make sure that's up to date so that if they're reaching out, they know they have the right email and it's not going to bounce back and then they're moving on to the next person. And again, the next stage is where you're at right now is becoming engaged, attending events in person, online, volunteer with numerous forums, and committees that we depend on the volunteers because as I said before, we're a nonprofit. So we depend on volunteers like yourself to facilitate things, whether it's marketing, whether it's helping with certifications. There's so many different ones that if you're interested, let me know. And we've got corporate relations. If you have a lot of corporate people that you work with and you want to help bring them on board so that they're, WeBank partners, by all means, like we can help with that. Like that's also a committee or forum or something. Regional opportunities. So we have Catch the Wave Conference, provides networking, training, and access to certified WBs and corporate members within the RPO. Over 500 people. Did you come to this one this year? No. Okay. So this year it was in Cincinnati. Next year, we haven't solidified exactly. I say Northern Ohio, but it's in the Cleveland area, is where they're expecting it. We just haven't had the contract or anything like solidified, so I can't say it's at this place yet. But it's in the greater Cleveland area is kind of where they're hoping to have it. 500 people I think of those like 90 plus corporate members, I would say probably 75% of them have a presence there on one day or the entire time. We had what was called a meet the buyer. It's now opportunity matchmaker, but it's you putting your capabilities, your NICS codes, all of that into a platform that we started using, and it matches you with a corporate that is looking for that. So then when you set up a meet, and it sets up a meeting, and I think they're 10 or 15-minute meetings, and it's one-on-one. It is not like you're at a round table and everybody's trying to talk over everybody. It is a one-on-one, you and a purchaser, a buyer, or a department head that has that say so. And it's amazing. In years past, we done it in a way of you kind of stood in line. You still had a one-on-one, but you stood in line waiting for the table to open with Victoria's Secret or Honda or whoever. This year, we switched it to intentional meetings of you have to fill it out. They've filled out what their needs are. So when you're matching, you're talking, you know that there's a need for your business. So it's a great thing. It's the last thing we do in the conference. So if you were to only come to one day, I would recommend coming to, it's usually the Wednesday. I think it'll be the last week of August is normally when we have it. This year it was the 26th to the 28th, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I haven't looked at the calendar for next year yet. But it's usually the last week of August. So tentatively last week of August and greater Cleveland area.
How much
We
are
also
those tickets
go ahead.
usually? How much are those tickets usually?
So there's usually an early bird, and I want to think it's 300, but that includes your meals. That's the entire week, like all 3 days. That's your kickoff event, your breakfast, like whatever meals are like it includes meals. I think this year it included like 2 dinners or 2 dinners and a happy hour from the night before, from the kickoff, 2 lunches and maybe 2 breakfasts. So like your meals were included in that. Everything's included except for like your room and board. But I think that's what it is. And I think then it bumped it up to 350 or 400 after early bird.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that because I don't remember off the top of my head. I just know it's in that range.
Okay.
Also another opportunity that it just went out yesterday. I saw the BDP program. It's a 7-month business development program designed for women in businesses who are building sustainable and scalable companies. The 7-month, it's one day a month. That's not put in there. It's one time a month. Last year, or the last time we held it, was at Victoria's Secret, actually in Columbus, and they help facilitate it. We also bring in Kaufman Fast Track certified. I guess they're certified Kaufman Track Fast Track teachers. I don't know the official title. But they're talking about how to grow your business, how to scale your business, how to make it more profitable, how to it's a very vulnerable look at your business. And it's why it's only set up to 10 people is everyone you kind of have to let your guard down a little bit. I was actually able to attend, I think about 5 months of the last one. And it's really interesting. I'll listen to a lady talk about, I've got my brother or brother-in-law that's part of my company. And so they had that conversation of what is he adding versus what is he taking, and his value add was not there. And so she had that real conversation with herself, and we was able to talk with her of how to have it, and also does he have value? If he has value, keep him by all means. She's like, no, I kind of done it because he's family and all this, and but he's becoming a headache. So it was kind of that inward look of he's hurting my business. So by the end of the program, she had actually helped him transition to another company. She didn't fire him, but it was like, hey, you're hurting my business at this point. I need to grow and you're not helping me grow. So it's those real conversations of what's going on with my business that is hurting it from getting to that next level. I call it a mini MBA because it's so in depth. The procurement people, I think we had VP of sales from Victoria's Secret actually came in and gave a talk one day. Procurement executives, so many different people come in, have conversations, talk about what the corporate side of things looks like, but also how to grow your business as a WB and as a small business or whatever size you are. So that I think it went out to whoever gets our newsletter. So if you don't get the newsletter, let me know and I can get you signed up for it. Because that's where we post all of our upcoming events as the opportunities, the doing business with series, like we have Quanta, these are last year's dates, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But it's where we post our doing business with series that say you're trying to do business with the port in Cincinnati, what they look for in a bid opportunity, what they look for if they have a dashboard or platform that you have to register your business in and upload your certification so that they can pull. I know Hamilton County has like the bold list that they call it. And it's like building opportunities, and I can't remember what LP mean, LD means, but it's that opportunity to what goes into what they're asking for. So it's the newsletter tells you everything that's coming up, but also like those series are amazing to understand who you're trying to do business with corporate wise and what they're looking for. So that when you go in, you're putting your best foot forward and all of that. We also have the developing an effective capability statement we done that it's kind of more geared toward people that maybe never created a capability statement. Are you familiar with a capability statement?
No.
I call it a resume for your business.
Okay.
It's a screenshot. It's usually a 1-page. What do you offer? What are your achievements? It's your scalability, but it's really a resume for your business that you can hand off to a corporate, you can hand off to another business that you're trying to do work with. It's that 60-second pitch that all in one page. The SBA is a great resource. They're trying to help you get those as well. Or SBDC, sorry, Small Business Development Center. A free resource in Columbus. Every major city has one, but then they also are like regional. If you Google SBDC Columbus, you'll find whoever their person is. They can help you build that. You can also find templates on Google as well. Everyone should have one, even if you don't use it that often. You should kind of keep it updated because a corporate's eventually you're gonna have that conversation with a corporate or a business that says, what can you do? Can you send us something? And you can say, here's my capability statement. It's 1 page. It's easily digestible. It's just kind of something good. But we had a conversation about creating that. So you didn't know, you would have came to it, been able to help build yours. We done one on succession planning of the next generation taking over your business, if that's where you're at, or joint ventures, if you're trying to build up. So there's all these regional opportunities that we offer. And that's why I'm like, get on our newsletter, be on the mailing list, because that's where we put all of that upcoming stuff on, as well as our calendar on our website. So yeah, some other resources. You got WBEC Link 2.0, the women-owned logo, WBEC programs. And I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna supports the business development and growth of fuel, because the next slide actually talks about the national ones, which are included in your certification. WBEC calendar, look at ours, look at the national one. We're always updating. They're always updating of what events are coming, what programs are coming up. Act Intentionally is a campaign to support corporations that support women-owned businesses. I know that DEI is kind of under attack right now. There are businesses that have signed the Act Intentionally that are doubling down, that they're like, we're not going anywhere. If it's a mandate or not, we're still here. And then that list is growing. So like there's all of those resources that you can see those businesses on the WBEC website. But here is some professional development, networking, outreach. You have access to this. You can enter these programs. Be found on the WBEC, the national website. If you go to their programs, it's all listed. And whenever you click on whatever image, it takes you to that dashboard. So if you're a woman-owned business in retail, it's about how to be better in retail. You've got the Lyft series, which I hear nothing but great things about Lyft. They actually done I think their graduation or something right before our our ORV conference this year. They had part of it. WBEC pitched just closed, and Storm Secured, who's out of Cincinnati, one of our WBEs, just placed second nationally in the pitch competition and won $15,000. That the winner got $25,000. They done like a product or retail space, and then they also done like services. She placed second in services. So like those opportunities you get access to. We do a regional one, winner from our regionals move up, and then it's how everyone kind of works. But you get access to it. It's free to do it. That's the crazy part. Like it's free, and she won $15,000, and they actually paid for her to go do the final pitch in person. So she got a little trip out of it and 15K. And
Yeah.
she's pitching in front of corporates. She's pitching in front of other WBs. It's streamed live for everybody to watch around the country. So you're not just winning the money, you're also pitching your business in front of thousands of people at a time that are going to be like, oh, this is exactly what I need. Let me go reach out to her. So like there's that. The Pitch Academy teaches you how to pitch your business. Not only that, the WBEs will help you. I remember hearing Journey Steele, Barb Smith, a person on a bus to an event for Catch the Wave this year, and never pitched her business. Barb taught her how to pitch her business on the way to the event, and then just watched her walk around the room, giving her 30-second elevator pitch. So the network itself will help teach you. No one's gonna like, no, I'm not telling you that's business for me. They're like, oh, absolutely. Like, here's how to do it. Like, here's what I would add. Here's what I did it. Because Barb won the pitch competition a couple of years ago. So this girl didn't because she'd never pitched before. So it was, learning curve. But Barb had won the pitch competition. It was like, yeah, I'll help you pitch your business. So when you're walking around the room, you can do it. So those are great events. And again, you get access to all those on the WBEC website. Play around with it. They're always kind of starting new classes and everything. And some other regional, that's the QR code to stay up to date on all ORV things. Our monthly newsletter, as I mentioned, it's where we kind of put the bid opportunities, the corporates, what they've got going on that they're asking for, our events that we have going on. We do have a relationship with the Business Development Entrepreneurship Center. It says of Greater Cincinnati. It includes up to Dayton. That you kind of get 2 in 1 with them. We'll refer you to them, they'll refer you to us. That's why I mentioned the Small Business Development Center, because it's housed in our Urban League. I think the Columbus one is with Ohio State, or the Ohio State. I think that's where theirs is. But I always say it's a free resource. Utilize it. They'll help you with the loans, all of that stuff. And if this doesn't talk about loans, remind me to tell you about low interest loans in Ohio. So getting involved, certification is like a gold pass, access to a ton of benefits, doesn't guarantee you contracts. I have to say that I'm sure you've seen it. It's not going to guarantee you a contract that as soon as you submit it, like, yep, here you go. But it can sometimes give you that edge if you're competing with someone on the same thing and they're like, oh, we might as well get our supplier diversity credit because you're the same. This may give you an edge. Show up and participate in events is the best way. As you've done already, you went to the, I think they call it the networking week. We're going to do that again this year. We're going to make it bigger. It's going to not just include Cincinnati, Dayton, and Columbus. We're going to start working on Northern Ohio, into Lexington and Louisville. It's going to grow, and you're welcome to go to any of those dates that you want. That's why we kind of separate them so that I think someone said that they saw 2 or 3 people at all 3 dates this year in the same week, because it's just that kind of network. But this is a great first step too on the where to start, is coming to this or listening to me ramble on about what we do. Participate in the virtual events and the chats. Don't be afraid to be the first one to say, connect with me on LinkedIn or whatever. Like, hey, I'm Jackie. Do you go by Jackie or Jacqueline?
Yeah, Jackie.
Okay. Hey, I'm Jackie. I'm with Birch Designs. Check out my LinkedIn. Like, let's connect. You'll see it at the national level. You'll see it at the local level. And whenever one person does it, everyone automatically just starts firing off. Here's my LinkedIn. Here's my LinkedIn. And you connect. And sometimes they'll share opportunities that they have, or that they're an event that they're going to or a part of. So be active in the chats. It's a great way to kind of start understanding the network. And as you're new to the network, there's probably going to be a lot of tables you don't know anyone, and that's a good thing. That's where you connect with people. you don't know if you're going to be sitting beside a corporate member or another small business that's, $10,000, or sitting next to someone that's 100 million in revenue. You don't know. And that's the great way to grow yourself and grow your network, because I remember I was sitting at a table with someone, and it was virtual, or normally it was virtual, his first in-person event. I'm pitching like, yeah, like ORV is like this great opportunity. We're doing amazing things. Like, you have access to everything. And then I look at their recertification the following year, and they're like a $500 million company. But everybody's so down to earth. And like, she was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, we're so excited to be a part of this. Like, we can't wait to like grow and like meet people. And I'm like, let me know if you need anything. And I'm like, you are one of our larger WBs. Had no clue. But that's just how like humble and kind people are, is you don't know until you talk to somebody of how big their business is or who they are. Um, Apply for competitions, the pitch competitions, the programs that was on the previous slide. Attend the national forum meetings, attend our forum meetings, make introductions, introduce people. You'll start understanding, like, you'll see someone introduce you to Victoria's Secret. Well, then the next time that they're trying to do business with Honda, you're like, oh, hey, actually, I met the Honda people. Let me go introduce you. And it works. Everyone's kind of introducing. You may not need to do business with whoever that you've met with, but having that connection kind of in your back pocket for the next person is always beneficial, because there's going to be someone shy in a room that's scared to talk to somebody, but there's always going to be someone that's very outgoing that is willing to talk to that shy person. And that's when everything starts flowing real nice. Did I go back? I went back. Engagement. We do a WeBank Star every year. This past year it was Barb Smith. And it's just kind of highlighting someone that is doing great things in their business and also doing great things within the network, who's active and just out there. There's the America's Top Corporates for WeBank. It's a list of the top corporates, national corporates and government members who drive sustainability within the women-owned business space. And then there's a legacy of leaders. There's a group of corporate members and WBEs who serve in an advisory capacity to WeBank, have held significant leadership roles throughout the WeBank, or through the WeBank network. So it's the people that kind of help make sure that our programs are still relevant, or that they're on the edge of the next step. That's why during our last Catch the Wave, we had an AI session, or a couple of them, because like, whether we like it or not, we're in that AI age of it's growing. And if we're not talking about it last year, we're late next year. And those leadership councils, it's same with like WeBank, like if they're not talking about it ahead of time, then they're too late. And then it's like, why'd you wait? So they make sure that we stay on the top of the things, and that they're also just offering good programs in general, that if something's outdated, it's changed or it's obsolete and they've got a new one coming in. We also highlight some of our top corporates that, spend the most with WBEs and things. We have a he's for she's, and that's why you've got a guy on here today. It's guys who are advocates for women-owned businesses. I always say, like, I use my place of privilege. I always get invited to tables. I invite other people with me. So it's advocates, because you're not expecting to see a guy at or you wouldn't expect it in a women-owned business field, but it's because we're advocates. We're trying to do our part to make sure that everyone is seen and heard and gets their equitable position. Some of our local or regional engagement, as I mentioned earlier, committees. We have the certification committee, communications and marketing, corporate engagement, events and programming, steering committee. Steering is kind of like the one that steers ORV in the right direction forward. Certification, it's if you had a volunteer, volunteers help with that. Like they're reviewing the files with us so that our eyes don't cross and we can't do anything, but also make sure that we didn't miss anything. Communications and marketing, they're helping us with our marketing. Like the name, it's in its name. Same with the corporate events and programming. It's helping set up stuff. It's scheduling. It's finding speakers for events, things like that. This last year, Sheila Mixon, our former CEO and now president and CEO of Sash Effect, was our Trailblazer Award winner. it goes to someone who sets a great example, both in business and in their community. And also just blazing the trail. That's why it's the Trailblazer Award. WBEC Forum selects WBEC certified WBEs that are nominated by the RPO and appointed by WBEC. 4 members serve as business-focused teams where they share their expertise and knowledge with each other. They have the national one and we have our local one. We also have a representative on the national one. And then again, the star illustrates the country's vital ability to build successful businesses, the women's strategic vision, business acumen, and sheer talent combines to meet their corporate clients' needs. So again, who's kind of that next star that's growing their business, doing everything they can to be the best business. Who do we see as a rising star kind of? This is last year. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I have 1 minute to let the dog out real quick?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
I understand. I have to do it all the time with mine. I just happen to be in the office today. So this was last year's Catch the Wave. It was at the Hilton Netherland Plaza. I think that QR code takes you to our website. It might take you straight to last year's Catch the Wave if you want to look at it, just to kind of see what it's about. I think it has the pricing on there, and sponsorship opportunities, all that. But again, attend the regional conference, sponsor, participate in the WB showcase. That's where you kind of get to showcase your business. You get a booth, set it up. Everybody walks around, all participants. The lowest level tier of sponsorship gets a booth, and then you get extra perks and different things from other tiers. Participate in the opportunity matchmaker, volunteer at the conference, whether it's again, we always depend on volunteers because we are like 6 people on our staff. So for events, especially Catch the Wave when we're having 500 people at the event, we need people for like room monitors. Just, hey, welcome. This is our speaker. Fill out the survey. Thank you. Sit down and enjoy your conference. That's the volunteer kind of conference that it is. It's welcome people in the room, being a smiling face, but it's also you become the first face that a lot of people see. So it's a great way to network as well. And I already kind of gave you the insight that's not official on the 2025 location. I'm going to go to the meet the team here, but I'm going to mention, I mentioned loans earlier. Certifying with us, we have an MOU with the state of Ohio, that if you're getting certified with them, you're fast tracked. But they offer super low interest rate loans. And when I say, and I'm talking for micro loans of like $10,000 all the way up to $500,000. Those micro loans can be as like 0% interest rate. And like the $500,000 ones, I think are like maybe like the highest interest rate on a loan that I've heard anybody of them talk about is 3%. They try to be at least 0.5% less than like the standard. You get access to that. And if you're curious on where to find that, if you Google, because this is how I found it, state of Ohio, women-owned business loan, it brings up the state of Ohio's website and kind of goes into more details of what's needed. But if you'll notice on there, it says if you're certified with the state or WBEC certified, and you being in Columbus, you're going to meet everything there because you have to be a resident of Ohio or your business is in Ohio to get that. So they offer those loans, and it's a great opportunity as you're trying to grow your business. And I mentioned earlier the SBDC, they can help you with those loan documents. So it's another free resource it's another way to use that free resource of, man, I don't have a lot of time to like get all these documents. What does that mean? They'll help you gather it. They'll help you fill it out so that when you submit it, you're getting a super low interest rate loan. You kind of cut out banks. I can't say bad things about our bank because we do have national corporate members that are Bank of America, Huntington Bank. Like we have corporate bank members, but I'm also all about trying to save people money, especially the businesses. And so that's why if you're trying to grow your business, it's a great way to do it without predatory lending. And things, not that all banks take advantage of you, but when you can get a 2% interest rate loan on $15,000 to grow your business, like it's hard to pass up. Here's the team. Yeah, Lenise, who's our president and CEO. who is in Columbus. Her office is at the Cohatch in Columbus. Frederica Singletary is our Chief Operating Officer. Jackie Jordan is our fractional CFO. Stephen Easley, our fractional CMO. Dr. Ketiana Lowe, Director of Administration. There's Colleen, which is Certification Outreach Director. There's myself, the Certification Manager, and Byron Stallworth, our Corporate Relations Consultant. We're about to bring on some more staff. Nothing's finalized yet. We just another marketing person, another certification person. But this is the team at this moment. This is the active team. So I guess it's 8 people if you can include this fractional and consultants, but it's about 5 full-time staff members. Like I said, we're a small team. So that's why we depend so much on volunteers to help us with things. And that is all I have. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah. I didn't realize how broad the network was as far as all of those other programmings, which is great to know. And what was my other question? Is there a difference in like WBE and WBENC?
So
Or
no.
Okay.
So that's why, like I mentioned, we're a regional partner. It's kind of like how McDonald's franchises.
Okay.
Of McDonald's is a franchise. WeBank is the top. We're just a franchise. We're a regional partner you're still WeBank. We still use their name. We just kind of do the work for them on a regional scale. That's how it works, because if we left it all up to WeBank, they would have to staff hundreds of employees to do 20,000 businesses, 500 and some corporate members. But instead, they're like, you take care of your regional area so that there's a representation, that the events are local to that area. Work on your corporate members, because you've got P&Gs are massive. P&G, Honda, Toyota are these massive corporations who are WeBank national members, but they also are P&G's and Kroger. Like, they're located in Cincinnati, so they're like, we would like to be able to give back on a small local level. This is how they give back more on the local level, being part of it. So WeBank is the national. It stands for Women's Business Enterprise National Council. We are Women's Business Enterprise Council, and then we put ORV for Ohio River Valley, and then everyone kind of uses different names. As you'll see, you got Women's Business Development Center Midwest, but all of them kind of have that same kind of branding to them, except for Greater Women's Business Council, which even still does. But we're just kind of we're just partners of WeBank, but you're still WeBank in general.
Okay.
Does that answer that?
Yes.
Okay. I know it was a long answer.
I was getting my certificate last year when I was getting it. My financial advisor was like, well, are you getting certified on a local level? And I was like, yes. I was like,
we do the work for the national level is what it is. If you wanted to do business in Texas, you don't have to get recertified in Texas. It's still good in Texas. That's where the WeBank comes in. Is you don't have to get recertified in every state. You just do it in where you are located, where your headquarters is. So that's why I mentioned, like, if you want to go to Pennsylvania and do business, or go to an event, you're still WeBank in the grand scheme of it. You don't have to get certified in WBEC East. You would just, because it's the same certification process, same criteria, same everything, because WeBank sets that, we're just doing the work for them.
Okay. And will there be some more Columbus events this coming year into 2025, like in person and stuff?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know what yet. I'm not in programming. But so I don't know exactly what. I know in December we're having our, like, I think they're calling it, I don't know if they're calling it a town hall, forum meeting, something that we're going to talk about kind of a year in review and also things to look forward to next year. I don't know the exact date on that yet either. I know it's coming in December is all I know. But there will be Columbus, because So Cincinnati is the largest hub of businesses. We have about 300 in a 25-mile radius. So that includes kind of Dayton.
Okay.
Columbus is our second largest. And then you've got Cleveland, Toledo, Lexington, Louisville, kind of, and Dayton are like the top six. But
Mhm.
between Cincinnati and Columbus, those are our two biggest. I think Columbus has 150, 200 maybe certified businesses, and it's growing as the network grows itself. So we have things there. We have a lot of corporate presence there as well with Huntington Bank. That's where the BDP program was. Um, Darla King with King Business Interiors is who hosted the networking event.
Mhm.
She reached out and was like, "Hey, I want to host it. Like, I want it. We need to have an in-person networking event." And we're like, "All right, like we got to work on some like logistics." She's like, "I'll pay for it. Like, just we can have it here. Like, we just need to have it." Um, and we listened, and it had a great turnout. So like, we'll be back in Columbus next year doing it again. Um, we used to have, um, they were called forum luncheons or lunch and learns that would like every month. And this is kind of like us rebranding that is we gave it a test week to see like, do people want it? We knew you all did, but we had to make sure before we like make it bigger. Um, so it'll happen again, and they're thinking about doing it like quarterly, kind of that WB Connect week every quarter, all in the same areas. But it's that way that people have the opportunity to continue to connect or meet new people, whatever it is. Try different areas because if you're in Columbus and you're like, man, I've never been to the Cincinnati one, it's about an hour and a half. Like, let me go to the Cincinnati one. Or like, oh, like Dayton's right there. It's an hour. Let me hit up Dayton. Let me hit some new people because you're close enough. Like, that's what we want to be able to do. And so having stuff like that. Also, some of our programs will be in person. The joint venture last year, or I guess this year, was in person. So things will be, we're moving, we have a better turnout when we do in person, but there is more cost that's associated with it. So we always have to play that game of can we afford to do it
Yeah.
in person, and to make sure that you all have a good product when it's there. Um, so that's it. Columbus will always be a part of the programming, like in-person events, because it is such a hub for us. It's a larger city in our RPO. So yeah, Columbus will continue to be part of things.
Okay, cool. Um, I think my last question is volunteering.
Mhm.
I'd love to talk to someone or consider volunteering for the marketing communications one.
The
Um,
marketing, I will get you I have to give it to Dr. K or Frederica because I don't know who the marketing person is. I only know the certification person.
okay, yeah.
um, but I will,
And
I'll,
Frederica, I met at the recent event.
okay. If you reach out to her, she can probably do it, or
Okay,
I can say it. It's whichever one you prefer. Um,
I'll go ahead and reach out.
okay, yeah. Tell her like you want to volunteer, you're interested in, the marketing, um, because the more the merrier.
Yeah, yeah.
So, because I think last year, like marketing helped with our catch the wave, um, marketing, like make sure our flyers were going out, making
Mhm.
sure that our website was updated. Like there's all this stuff that they're dependent on. We have a fractional CMO, but he's running his own business at the same time, and we only had one person on staff, so there's a lot to do for one person. So that's why we depend on the volunteers of that committee to like help make sure things are in order and they're marketed.
Right, right. Awesome.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
No, that's all I have. I surprised I took 50 minutes. Um, because I started off very quick. It was 11 minutes and I was 10 slides of the 25 in, but I knew that you wanted more of the engagement stuff. So I slowed myself down. Um, but make sure you're on our newsletter if you're not. Um, and if you need that, shoot me an email and I can get you added to it. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for joining today.
Yeah, thank you for tailoring this and
Yeah.
sticking to it and not rescheduling. I always appreciate that.
No, absolutely. So I was like, I've been here long enough. I was like, I know what we offer. Like, I might not be in programming, but I still know our program. So, um, enough. Like with the stuff coming out, like they just haven't told us yet, because it's still in the works. But I know ORV and I know Weaving because I've been here. So I was like, yeah, I can still do this.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your
No
time.
problem. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.